Hello everyone, welcome to another Webflow Workshop. I'm your host Nelson, and this is a part two of what we were doing last week, which was building a prototype dashboard. And what you see on my screen right here is what we're trying to redesign inside of Webflow. This whole thing right here. And last week we ended off at something like this. Okay? And so we got pretty close. And so what I want to take this hour to do is trying to finish it up as best I can, including, and what I've just learned about an hour ago from Alex, one of the community experts over at on our forums on Webflow, is this guy right here, pie charts. Whoop. Animated pie charts. Pretty cool. All right, so I'll show you guys how to do that, but let's not waste any time. Let's go straight into this. So where we last left off is we had some interactions right here, some hovers, got our nav bar done, and this animation right here for the hamburger menu. Pretty cool. And so, yeah, let's get to it. Where did we leave off? We have all these guys are here. Let's go ahead and make these 4 buttons, the open and whatnot. Oh, I also have to go to the Font Awesome cheat sheet so I can pick up my icons. There we go. And from last week, if you didn't join us last week, it's in the archives. If you just go to our YouTube page or webflow.com/workshops, and at the bottom I have all the I gotta change these. I gotta put them. Yeah, okay. So right here is the past workshops, or if you want to see all of our other past workshops, just click on that button and you'll go to the archive page, and I'm gonna link that into the chat room. And yeah, you can see all the people that I got to interview and some stuff that we did in the past. So yeah, check that out. All right, so first things first, where are we at? Customer service representative, location. I'm guessing, yep, the location has a map marker, so let's add that in. So let's search for map. There we go. And I already have a class called icon, so I'm going to drag a text block in, give it a class name of icon. Right. And it should, there you go. Yep, it already has my font of Font Awesome right there. And I want them on the same line. So how to do that is on this text block, I'm going to call this inline icon. So give it a combo class of inline icon. That way I can do display inline block. And for this one, I'm going to give it a class name of inline text. So that way the display setting also is inline. So that way they're both inline. Okay. Here we go. Inline text. And let's see here. I should move this away from the icon just a little. Like 7 pixels. Cool. So we have something like that. I'm going to skip preview this post and just go straight to the 4 buttons on the right. This is pretty big. Oh, because I didn't style it yet. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to call it main heading. Okay. It's too bold. So I'm going to make it normal. It's pretty big. Let's go 28. 26 is fine. Yeah. Okay, cool. Alright. And I'm guessing, yep, it's a row. Now, these rows, actually this right here, there needs to be some space for the icons on the right. So I'm thinking in my head, I'm going to split it into 2 columns. So I can either do it with div blocks or I can do it with the pre-made columns. So just to make it faster, I'm going to use the pre-made columns. Let's make this one smaller like that. And drag in my heading. and these two guys. Here, right here. Cool. Alright, and then this one right here needs those 4 icons, and we're going to start with the open one. So that one seems pretty simple and straightforward. So I'm going to drag in a div block, and I'm going to call it what do you want to call it? What do we call it? I'm going to call it open button because it's just an outline. So open button. Okay. And that open button has some words in it. So this one, it says open. And I notice there's a dot too right next to it. So I'm going to drag in another div. So we're just building this piece by piece, okay? So I'm going to call this dot. And this dot's probably going to be about, what, 15 pixels? Make it 10. Cool, 10 pixels. Background color of green to indicate open. There you go, that's a good green. And of course, to round it all out, the border radius just has to be 50%. Okay, and this dot should be inline. And this text should also be inline. And there we go. And lastly, the open button should be inline as well, because it's going to be in line with the other open buttons. And I'm going to add some padding. Let's say like 4. And then border radius could be like 10. And I think it has a gray outline. That not more than 10. Something like 20. Some space at the top. Some space on the sides. And there we go. I'm guessing the text is okay. Text is all uppercase and it's kind of gray, a little bit darker. I think we got it. It's a lot more space. Let's see here. Put it down a little bit more. I'm just refining it as I go. And I know there's already a question Blaze is asking, why not use MVHVW instead of pixels? I could do that for real responsiveness, and that's something I should probably tackle in a later workshop for true responsive text. But right now I'm just trying to get this whole layout done. But yeah, that's a great question. And I will tackle that later. Okay, let's see here. Open button. Let's see if I can make 4 of them. Okay, cool. And then we have a bookmark. So I'm gonna go to bookmark. Bookmark. There we go. Simple. Delete this. Delete that dot. Put a text inside of that one. Paste my icon, give it a class of icon, and there we go. Cool. And I just keep going. We have a pencil. There we go. Actually, let me just copy and paste this and delete the other 2. There we go. So copy my pencil, double click, and then the last one is a trash can. And there we go. I got the 4 buttons all squared away. Right, and these open buttons, they probably need some space around each other, so I'm going to play around with the margin. It's too much, probably like 3, 4, 3. Cool. And I notice I need more space, so let's see where I can find space. So with these pre-made columns, there's already some padding inside of on the left and right. In order to see those settings, just give it a class name. I'm going to call this one call. Okay, so immediately after I add a selector name, usually it's supposed to show, but okay, I'll report that to my team. But see how there's already padding on the left and right. So just set those to 0. Just force the 0. And that way you get the true width of your column inside. And you can do the same thing for all of your other columns. See what happened? And shift it over to the left. Oh, this guy right here, I need to remove that. Remove that. Cool. Actually, no. Let's give it 5. Alright, cool. I think we're done with that row, guys. Yeah? Pretty good, pretty good. Alright, so here we go. Let's go to the next one. We have... Oh, I also noticed there's a bottom border right here. How can I do that? Okay, hold on. I'm processing this in my head. So, this tab menu... Okay, this whole thing should be in the same row as that guy, right? No. Okay, let's try this. So, this row right here with padding... What if I... Okay, I get it. This one doesn't need with padding because it's going to go up like that. But this row right here, there seems to be some padding on the left, so let's go ahead and do that. Border is part of the tabs. That's what I thought too, Joss, and so that's what was going through my head. Good catch. I'm going to give this a selector name, and let's go ahead and push to the side as much as we can. Say 75. Cool. And now, like Joss said, the bottom border of this is what's happening. Good catch. So I'm going to put 3, give it a gray color. Right? And then we have labels like summary, applicants, and let's just job board. Cool. So it's starting to look pretty good. Ooh. Ah, right here. We need to take off the border right here. This guy right here has a border. So, let's see. With padding, I'm wondering, should I put another class name or just give it a completely different class name altogether? Some things you just gotta figure it out as you go. So I'm gonna say no border and remove that. And so that way it looks like this. Alright, we're getting there. Okay, so now we're going to style our tabs. I think we've already done that, but let's do it even better. All the tabs are uppercase, and I'm guessing the active one should be bold rather than just regular. Yeah, let's do it like that. Alright, cool. Yeah, everything's looking good. I'm just double checking my work. Alright. Let's go 2. Alright, now on the next part. Alright, so let's make some pies. Okay, so again, this is what Alex has showed me just an hour ago. So he gave me a crash course, so thank you so much, Alex. And again, go to Alex's, Alex, if you can, link your tutorial in the chat room. But here we go. Here is how I made this, and I'm gonna show you guys one more time the demo. There you go. So it's quite complex at first, but it makes sense later on. So here we go. Let me see if I can recreate this live. Alright, so you start off with a base. So let me figure out something. Okay, I'm gonna do a 3 column right here. Okay, so let's get this tab pane. Let's see here, tabs content. First, I want to put some padding in first. So let's go ahead and tab wrapper. And then after the tab wrapper, let's go ahead and put some margins. Something like 75 across everywhere. Oop, 75 is too much on the top and bottom. Let's go 50. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, now that I'm ready, I'm going to drag in a div block into my first tab. And this one will be called pie column. So I'm gonna call it a pie column, and the pie column is floating to the left. So I'm making my own columns from scratch. 33%. Okay. And now in this pie column, I want our pie. So let's do this. The first thing you need to do to make a pie is to heat the oven to... I'm just kidding. That was a lame joke. I know. Okay. So drag in a div block where you're going to start your pie, and then you can call it your base. Okay? Or you can call it pie pan, whatever you want. Okay, the pie jokes are coming now. I'm sorry. All right, so you have your base, okay? And this base, oh yeah, you can set it to whatever size your full pie is going to be. So for this example, we're going to say 250 by 250. And just to make sure we know what we're working with, I'm going to temporarily set a base background color. And now to round it all out, 50% on the border width. And then after that, oh yeah, we set the position to relative, okay? After we set it to relative, we're done with our base, okay? Now, the next part is getting a center circle. So now we're going to cut out the center. And how to do that is, inside the base, I'm going to add another div block. And this one we're going to call it pie center. And now you can just do some little math in your head, like if this one's 250 by 250 and you only want to cut out a little bit of the pie, then you can do a width and height of like 225 by 225. So let me show you what that does. 225 by 225. And then the background is white. The same thing as the other background. Set the border radius to 50. And now we have some sort of Sailor Moon effect going on. But you can do position absolute. And now we're going to do this trick where we vertically and horizontally center it. So 50% from the top, 50% from the left. Go down to your transforms, and for your move, do -50 by -50. And now we're on the absolute center of the div. Okay. And then, what's next? Next we do the base grid, and this base grid is what is going to hold the actual pieces of the pie. So hold on, the base grid is gonna go bottom left. Ah, got it. So you take half of the base. Where is it? Here we go. You take half of the base of the wrapper. Sorry, you take half of the base of the width and height. So half of 250 is 125. So that's what's going to be your base grid. Okay, so I'm going to drag the base grid not inside the pie center, but inside of the base. Okay, base grid, and this is going to be, again, it's half of the original base, which is 250. So I'm going to set this one to 125 by 125, position it absolute to the bottom left, and now we can start adding our pie slices. Okay, now inside of this base grid, we're going to add in another div, and this is what we're going to call pie slice or quarter. I'm gonna call it pie slice. Or quarter pie slice. There we go. Pie. And now this one is going to be set to a width of 100% and a height of 100%. Okay? And then for the background, go ahead and color the background that you want. So we're just going to use Webflow Blue. And the bottom left of it, the border radius is 100%. 100 pixels. No? 100%. There it goes. The border radius on the bottom left is 100 pixels. Percent. And now, it might start making sense for you, but hold on, we're almost done. Now, this base grid is going on top of the pie center, so we need to make it lower. So, for this pie center, okay, we want to set the z-index higher than the base grid. So we just press up on our z-index to 1, and there we go. We have our quarter right there, quarter pie slice. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and paste 2 more of them because I want a percentage total of 70%. Okay, so after you do 3 of them, okay, because I need 3 slices to make at least 70%. So 3 quarters is 75, but I want to bring it down to 70. And so each quarter pie slice is going to be 100% width, 100% height, and then also it's going to be position absolute. Okay, and just let me double check my work on this one right here. Position absolute to the top right. Yes. So position absolute to the top right. And then here's the trick right here, okay? This one is very important. The transforms tool, we want to set the transform origin to the top right. So that way, if you think about it, like putting a pin at the center of the pie, and then when you rotate all the little pie slices, it's starting from the center, okay? And that's what this transform origin is all about right here. We want to set the origin to that very center of the circle, okay? Now, the fun part, making it animate, okay? So, this first quarter pie slice, we're going to add an interaction, okay? And the first interaction, we have to figure out how many degrees it rotates when the page loads, okay? And the simple math is 360 times whatever the percentage for that slice. So for example, the first slice is 25%, right? So you would do 360 times 0.25 and you get a right angle of 90. Whoa, what happened to Google? There we go. You get a right angle of 90. So I'm going to name my first interaction 90 degrees. And the trigger is load. And for my first step, I'm going to transform. And for the Z rotate, I'm going to put 90 degrees. And so it should look something like this. Whoop. We got our first one. All right. And now for the second slice, I'm going to duplicate that interaction. I'm going to change it to 180 degrees and change the Z rotate to 180 as well. And then we get something like this. All right. And now for the last one, I'm going to duplicate that again, but what would be the degrees for this one? So it's a simple 360 times 0.7. I don't know why I put 70. Why is Google going slow? There we go. 252. All right. So actually, this one should be 252 degrees. And this one right here, change it to 252 degrees. Done, done. And preview. There we go. Pie chart. Thank you, Alex. Super simple. Yeah, it takes some practice. As with everything, it takes practice, you know? But probably after 2 times of doing this, it'll make so much sense, and you'll just be making these really fast. Okay? Let's see here. There you go. Cool. Let me publish that so you guys can see it too. And again, here's the URL. And yes, this is clonable, so you can go ahead and play with it as well. Learn at your own pace. Let's take some questions so far. Let's see here. Border parties. I saw your map project concerning Tesla, Nelson. You did a great job with that. Oh, thank you. Thank you for looking at it. That was fun. I did that in like 3 hours. I just had a thought and I was like, yeah, I can make that happen. When I try to embed a map into my website, I am not able to set the map to 100% width, 100 height. Can you give me a tip about that? Use 100% VH. That'll make that happen. Okay, Blaze, for your height. VH means viewport height. I think the fastest way to do that is what, okay, great, no problem, Blaze. Damn, quite hard to do. Not talking about the pie. Yeah, it's not that hard, Blaze. You'll get. I know at first I was kind of scared about it too, and then Alex took me through it, and he gave me a crash course, and was like, oh, now it makes sense. So yeah, just keep trying and clone this project and try it for yourself. Animation needs to be a bit slower, goes a bit fast. Yes, it's a bit fast, but you can go ahead and clone this project and play around with the timing however you wish. Change the colors around, and let's keep going. Let's put some text in here just to finish all up. We have a number and a label, so let's go ahead and do that. So inside of here we have pie column, base, and the base is relative. So inside this base we're going to have some text, and then we're going to call this pi number, and this pi number is going to be, let's see here, position absolute, and let's do our centering again, 50 by 50, and then there we go, transforms, negative 50% by negative 50%, and I notice it's behind the base, so we need to throw up our z-index to 2. Awesome. Let's put a number here. 3145. I think that's the number. 3154. I was close. Okay, and this needs to be bold and big. There you go. Cool. And because I need to push it up a little bit, we're going to cheat it to 40%. And now we put another piece of text, and we're going to call it applicants. Is that it? Yeah, applicants. Is it all caps? Yeah, this person likes to use all caps. Okay. Pi label. Go ahead and position that. Do our trick again. Okay, the color of it should be that, all caps. Let's go ahead and push it back, 50, 50. Now push it down a little bit. Oop. Something like that, 60. This one. And there we go. We have our pie. Yes. Cool. Just copy it and paste it 2 more times. Boom! Multiple pies. Now let's fix this right here. It's too squishy. There you go. Something like that. Cool. So now I can, I can change the degrees of each one. I can change the colors. You can change the label, whatever you want. All right. So there you go. You got your cards. Awesome. Okay. I mean, you got your pies. All right. Let's move on. Let's make a card. Okay. Cool. We're good on time. And of course, if you have any questions, you want to share something with the rest of the community, go ahead and post your question or webflow.io link in the chat room, and we'll all go through it. And yeah, so this is fun. Let's see here. What are we doing? Let's go ahead and just make a card in a new row. Okay. I'm going to get this row right here. Paste it and drag it down so I don't have to reinvent the wheel. There we go. Cool. And now here I can go ahead and make a 2 column, and then the first column is going to hold that card. So let me add a column, and this one is much bigger than the other, so there we go. And let's go ahead and make our card. I'm going to drag in a div block, and this one's going to be called card. Okay. And this card, I'm looking at this, and it has some sort of border radius at the top and bottom, and I think it has a little bit of shadow on the bottom right here. So I'm going to add that too. So let's go ahead and do that. A border radius of like 5 pixels. And then let's go ahead and add some shadow to it. Some sort of drop shadow. At the bottom. 0 distance. Oh, nope. There we go. Blur it out a little bit more. And make sure that the opacity of the black is faint. There we go. We have our card working for us. Cool. And just make sure that the overflow goes hidden so nothing goes over those edges. So that we can always have a rounded corner. Okay, next we have some sort of top bar for the card. So I'm going to call it card title. And it has a background color of some sort. So I'm going to use that one for now. Okay, and in there we have the title. So let's go ahead and give it, I'm going to give it an H2. Was it job time? Job description. Okay, and this card title has some padding. And the color is white. Alright, and then this one right here, card title text. Let's see here. Make it smaller. There we go. Oh, okay, that's why. The margins. I was wondering why the bar is so big. There we go. Alright, we're gonna skip the edit button. Okay, div block. Here we go. So now I'm adding the next row to the card, and this card is just going to have a row of information. So it's going to be, I'm guessing, 2 column. It's a 2 column row, and you just keep on moving on down. Simple. Alright, so I'm going to remove this div block and add a column, or I mean a row. I'm moving it into the card rather than the card title. There we go. And I'm going to set this to 4 to 8. And then here we go, where we have a piece of text, and this one I'm going to call bold text because this one is bold. Okay, and actually it's hitting the edges of the card, so I don't want that to happen. So I selected the row, and I'm going to give this a card data. There we go. I'm going to give that a name of card data, and I want the width to be 80% and centered within the card. Oh, that doesn't work. All right, fine. All right, I'll set my padding to something like 25. There we go. And we have position title. And then this one will be customer service representative. So let me add another text inside the next column. Customer service representative. And I'm missing some padding at the top and bottom, so let's go ahead and give that. And also the bottom has a border. Interesting. The border, if you look, the border doesn't hit the very edge, so I'm gonna have to fix my margin and make it, I have to fix my padding and make that a margin, so that way the whole thing, that's not working either. Interesting. Wonder why. All right, gonna go back and I'll just add the border and it'll hit the sides for now. So here's what I mean. If I go like this and then I just copy and paste this, it's gonna look something like this. It's not too bad, but yeah, that border color could be less harsh. Let's fix that real quick. There we go. Nice. Make it subtle. Alright, and yeah, ooh, a little bit more at the top and bottom on the padding. Go to 25. Yeah, that looks better. Alright. Alright. Cool. And so we have our card done. And we can just replace these texts with whatever we want. And yeah. And I noticed that I can't scroll up on this guy. Okay, so I'm going back to the nav row, and something I noticed before I started the stream, I can't scroll up and down on it. So I'm going to set the overflow to auto. Oop. Oh, okay, so I'm getting a horizontal scroll bar. That's not good. And I'm thinking it's because some of my nav row has some padding issues. Yep. Is it padding or is it my photo? My big head. Let's see here. Width 100%. There we go. Oh, right here. What is this? Why is this so big? Interesting. So if we go 50 pixels. Oh. I guess a lot of things I need to figure out. I'm wondering, it has to do with the padding and everything that is given to these elements. So, for example, if I go to drop down and I say, oh, okay, if I give it a drop down, okay, it doesn't have any default settings. If I go to profile drop down, doesn't have any. Maybe I should. There we go. There it is. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it's something we do need to fix, and I'll tell my team to get on that. Alright. For now, let's go ahead and just do it like this. I know the drop-down icon is overlaying it, so let me see if I can push that down. That's the clickable area. Let me just hide this for now. Okay, there we go. There we go. And that still works. Cool. All right. Both sides can scroll up and down. And yeah. All right, the last 20 minutes. Yeah, if you have any questions or have any Webflow URLs that you would like to show off to the community, let us know. Put it in the chat room and I'll give you guys some time. I need a quick bathroom break. Sorry about that. But yeah, let's check out your sites. Alex or Michael, if you take a look at that site before me while I go to the restroom real quick and make sure it's approved. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. Alright, approved. Also, defo doable in Webflow. Okay. Let's see here. Site Labs. Let's see what you're doing, Daniel. Ooh, okay. Very clean. Not going to translate. Let's see, we got nice drop downs. Oh, interesting. Okay. Sorry, I was just checking out the on press event. Oh. Ooh, interesting. Why this page first? But alright. Oh, cool. So that's custom code right there. The sticky on the right. Great job with that. Yeah, that's something you can't do natively in Webflow. Oh yeah, on the left too. I just noticed. Nice. Very well done. I like these cards. These cards are very, very nicely made. You have the image, text, call to action. Very good, very good. Let's see what else is here. Okay. Nice. Like the colors. I'm a fan of orange, if you can't tell. Oh, each card, part of the form. That's not intuitive. Huh? What you talking about, Alex? Right. Ooh, there's a sound? That caught me off guard. So I hear the clicking from my mouse and the web page at the same time. So you might want to be careful with sounds, because sometimes it'll catch your users off guard, especially if their speakers are already set to high, or they're listening to music already, and so they'll hear that click and like, oh, so just try to think about that. What happens to your users when they do that? Think he wants to create in Webflow, not that he made it already. Oh, wait, this is not done in Webflow? It is not. Oh, can you make this in Webflow? Yes, you can. Easily. The sticky areas here would need custom code. But this whole site, yeah, easily doable in Webflow. Yeah. There's nothing like super crazy about it. When I say crazy, I'm talking about stuff like stuff that JP does. Like this. I always go back to this because I'm like, this is crazy. So yeah, it's nothing crazy like this. But I mean, if you can do crazy stuff like this in Webflow, that means all the other stuff that you see is probably doable in Webflow, because if it's not doing some crazy stuff like this, you know? All right. Next one. In TurleyRae Consulting. All right. Let's see here. Intelligence risk. Intelligence investigation advisory services of businesses. Nice. Nice logo. Is this your hamburger? Oh, that's different. Interesting. So be careful when you're trying to do something new, because you have to teach people before they even click on something. They have to know what is it going to do. I know that you're trying to reuse their logo as a hamburger menu icon, but I would at least put a label that says menu under it so people would get it. Or alternatively, use the basic the 3-bar hamburger icon. Okay? So either label it or change the icon to hamburger menu. But I like this so far. Nice. Nice rollovers. I would stick with the blue. Okay, so each of these has a different color, but I'm not sure if it makes sense, because keeping it consistent will make the user think, okay, so blue means rollover. Got it. And then this one, and I think the overlaying of elements, like right here, I'm kind of losing his name, you know? So maybe as you scroll down, you have a scroll interaction where this logo gets smaller, okay? Like something like, if I were to inspect it, you have a width of 352. Let's see here. Okay. So we can do something like width, is this showing? Oh, it's not. There we go. So what I'm doing is just using the inspector tool to just mess around with your site without going to Webflow real quick. So with, say, 200 pixels, something like that. So after I scroll down, it goes down to like 170 pixels or something, and it doesn't cover as much of what's going on. See, it's still covering. So you might want to kind of play around with that. Yeah. So moving on. Cool transparent texture like that. Using tabs, I'm guessing. Yep. Nice. Don't forget, for your tabs, use the cursor of a hand mouse pointer, because right now it's defaulting to my mouse pointer or a text selector. Okay, so change it to the hand. Okay, same goes with these. So I'm guessing they're using the same class name, so yeah, just set it. Nice. Cool. And something's missing down here or something. I think it's a work in progress, but yeah, your footer. Oh, wait, hold on. What's going on here? Okay. Something's wrong with your scroll interaction. I see. So that's a sticky footer. that shows up at the top and goes away and supposed to come back. I see what you're trying to do. All right. Yeah. Yeah, it looks good so far. Good job. Good job. All right, next one. Mish. Oh, wait, hold on. Josh says would give the logo slash nav an own and push the content below it. Yeah, that's another good. That's a good tip. Give its own row to separate it from the content. All right, here we go. Army MC Mush Indo Marietta Mushindo. Ooh, I'm excited. Ooh, oh, it's Mindwire. What's up? Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Ah, okay, that's cool. Oh man. Pew 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 pew. I just had to make sound effects. All right, ready? Jeez, dude. These rollovers. Man, I'm getting excited. I'm not even past the first page. All right, let's do this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, click. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. Okay, because I want you to go even further because you're already at this level. Now you gotta just take it even further. You know, there's always somewhere to go. Okay, so honest opinion, the photos is what breaks your design. Okay, your design is clean, it's so interactive, it's beautiful. Then the photos, they honestly fall flat. Okay, and if you want to take your web design career to the next level, photography, it's something that I've been learning from my wife. Imagery takes it to a whole nother level. Let me give you an example. Okay, so if you notice these photos, okay, it's cropped where you can see pixels off of them. The cutout is really rough, right? And the photo lighting isn't really that great, and so it seems like you just took photos from the client, and then you had to do what you could. Okay, so either learn photography or hire a photographer to take it to the next level. And when you give your clients even better work, they're gonna appreciate that next level. For example, I finished this website and helped my wife with this website that they did for a client. And all this photography, I thought it was like something that she bought off a stock photography site. No, they hired a real photographer, and they took pictures of the actual ingredients that this this client is selling. Okay, so if you look here, everything was done by a photographer, and then my wife cut out everything, and then I put it into Webflow. So these are the hands of the client. She's a baker, and she makes these Sherpa Energy squares. And then this is stock photography, but this is our car. This is not stock photography. That's I think the client's purse or something. And then yeah, that's me. So photography takes it to the next level. So yeah, Mindwire is saying it stunk because the client said that we had to use their photos. Totally agree, but maybe this could be a phase 2 where you ask the client, hey, what if we take it to the next level and get a photographer and make it even better, you know? So just a thought. Totally agree, Josh. Sometimes you don't get the opportunity to work with a photographer, but keep trying to push for one and see where it takes you, because asking and getting a no is better than not asking at all, you know? All right, so moving down. I love the clouds. Great job. Ooh, red. Nice. Okay, so these are the photos you have to work with. Totally understand. See, so the photos right here, that's okay if they're low quality. But when you get here, it should be high quality, crisp, and it's just beautiful. Okay? And even if you have to, ask if you can use stock photography. There's probably a bunch of uh what kind of martial arts is this? Okay, there's probably a bunch of martial arts stock photography out there, so probably you can get that. Like, see right here? This is probably stock photography. That's cool. And what's going on in the background? Oh, you played with background videos, or that's an animated GIF. Either way, that adds a little texture. Ah, oh, so subtle. Great job. Interesting. Are safety pins that big? Just kidding. Meet your new trainer. See, I think for this guy, if he had like a if you did a good photo shoot of him, you know, take a good 30 minutes to do a bunch of shots of him and like cut him out from the background, I think he would appreciate that a lot. Okay? Let's talk. I like the smoke. So good. Oh, that footer. Dude, you're going places. Keep at it, man. Keep at it. All right. Wow, dude. Let's see here. Anyone else? So last 3 minutes, 5 minutes, or what have you. Let me get the next. Let's take the last two questions or the last one Webflow site to share. As I'm waiting for those, as always, if you have any account, technical, or billing issues, hit me up on support@webflow.com. I'll respond right away. If you have any design issues, go ahead and talk to the community. They're very helpful around the world, and the forum is really going faster these days. So great job to everyone asking their questions and all to those who are answering them. Thank you so much. To join the community, go to forum.webflow.com. Follow us on Twitter at Webflow app or on Facebook /Webflow. And if you want to just chat it up with me on Twitter, I'm at the Pixel Geek. And yeah, Blaze, I have to make a website about lands to sell, and I feel depressed because zero inspiration comes. Inspiration. Where do you find inspiration? Let me give you a quick tip, Blaze. The inspiration will not necessarily come from your computer screen. Find the inspiration by researching your client, researching their hobbies, researching why the industry is so important. And if you can, experience what it's like to be in your client's shoes. And you might find something there, you know? But yeah, I'll talk about that more in my new weekly video series. I don't know if you guys caught it yet, but yesterday I started a new weekly video series called Motivation Monday. So check that out on youtube.com/webflow. And I post them every Monday morning. Michael says, first 2 pages of the whole site. Oh, I didn't check that one out. Here we go. Let's go ahead. Let me click the first link. Oops. Here. Oh, wow. Okay. I love orange! Oh, yay, orange. Okay. I like that. Immediately I'm thinking, if you can find a script that lets you, move around the map and then like the dots light up somehow, I don't know. I'm, just use imagination. But so far so good. Oh, nice. Click. Interesting. I like it, but the problem with the floating left and the columns and whatnot, I totally understand what you're trying to go for. How I'm not saying I don't like it. It's just like I'm thinking in my head, how would we fix this? Because each one would have to be a row, and they expand and just pushes the bottom row. But you're probably using dynamic collection, so I'm gonna have to think about this one. Or maybe these are all these drop down lists are floating, and so when you click on it, it's position absolute, so it floats on top of the other content below it. So it drops down, and so you don't lose your grid, and you still get the drop down. Just a thought. Really cool so far. Loving it, loving it. A lot of places. Okay, now I'm getting lost because there's a bunch of. Are we doing all 50 states? Okay. All right, get immediate help now. Where do we work? Oh, okay. And lastly, you have one more link. Resources new. Nice. I kind of get it. Membership cancellation. Does that mean like pull the plug? Because that's a battery pack. Okay, so these are... Okay, I get it. Excuse me. So these are tabs. Got it. Nice. Nicely done. Yeah, this is CMS stuff. This is dynamic collections. Great job. Very clean how it works. Interesting. Why did you go for a big image rather than coding it or designing it in Webflow? Because you can totally do that. I have this thing when it comes to text and images. Like this one, if you can code it, why not? It would help. I'm not a SEO expert, but it would help. Live text helps more than text on top of images. And yeah, but great job. Thank you guys so much for joining me this week. Next week I gotta figure out what we're doing. Gotta look at the list, but yeah, we'll be back next week, same time, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Thank you to everyone who's in the chat room. Thank you to everyone who's watching the recording of this. What else? Blaze, once again, thank you so much for your time. Not a problem. Yes, Alex, thank you for sharing your pie. It's delicious and fun to make. Yeah. Boop. So cool. Go ahead and clone this. I will see you guys next week. And as always, make the web beautiful. See ya.